Of a conversation on the injunction placed on the Nsoma Dredri constituency parliamentary results, and joining me on the phone is a political analyst and senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asantewatro. Doc, good evening to you. I'm grateful for your company tonight on 505. Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening.
Great. So let me have your thoughts on what's happening at the Tesano Police Training School. One, an injunction on the exercise. Two, Johnson Asiedu Nketia questioning the involvement of the police in the recollation exercise.
Well, it's an interesting development. Let me say good evening to you once again and to your listeners. It's an interesting development because for a while, some of us were thinking that at what point will this supposedly recollation end? And will the victors sit idle for things of that nature to take place? Because this particular recollation is exposed to all kinds of pressure, it's exposed to all kinds of manipulation and maneuverings. And therefore, a time was coming that someone was definitely going to injunct the process. And for me, this is a typical demonstration of the gross incompetence of the current commissioners of the EC. Gross demonstration of incompetence. I have never heard of any elections in the Fourth Republic that collation after the elections have gone into the 7th of December. Today is what? It's 13th.
Yeah.
7 days on. We are still talking about collation and recollation. This, for me, tells me that, look, there is the need for that forensic audit to be done as far as the EC is concerned. The current commissioners will have to testify. They will have to be called. There is the need for something of that sort, including the 2020 elections. All these must be part, of the investigation, the interrogation. So be it. The point too is that, look, it convinces me that the commissioners, through their recruitment processes, have put in place some kind of rigging machinery. But it's taking the cock eye, the eagle eye of the main opposition now coming into government to disrupt the whole process. Other than that, if they had their way, I don't think that this collation and recollation will have been something that will have been grappling with as of now. I've never heard of this before. 7, it used to be the case. Afram Place, even Afram Place, they've already decided their elections. So, what is this that we are hearing? They have a lot more questions to answer. And that can only happen when a commission of inquiry is set up so that people account to the nation for the kinds of resources that they were given and how they administered these resources. That, for me, is value for money.
So the question many ask is who is to blame? Because others are blaming the Electoral Commission, others also blaming the political parties. Because in somewhere in the Tema Central constituency, for instance, the returning officer says that he was forced to declare Ebi Bright as the parliamentary candidate elect for Tema Central. So, who is to blame in all this?
Well, what the returning officer says that he was forced to declare, I think that particular person is playing a mischief. So, before the declaration, where were the NPP? Was it the case that they had lost and all of them had left? And if they had left, on what basis would he have been compelled to declare? So they can conduct investigation into that. Why not? And all of this can be part of the subject of investigation when you have set up a commission of inquiry. And I think that the incoming NDC government will have to do this. They owe it to the Ghanaian populace to do that. The impunity at the Electoral Commission, I have suggested that those who become returning officers or presiding officers and all the recruitment process should be subletted. It shouldn't be done by the EC, especially when you have tainted commissioners. When you have tainted commissioners, you are definitely not going to have the full complement of people who are apolitical, who are unexposed, who are not politically exposed, to be, the officers of the various levels of the Electoral Commissioner's work. So we need to have CSOs who will have to apply, those with that background, to do that investigation, do the interview, and then they will shortlist all those people. That, for me, will bring some kind of serenity in the way and manner the Electoral Commission does its work. Apart from that, we need reforms. We need reforms. And this should be part of the reforms that some of us are asking for. I mean, it is simply unbelievable that 7 days after the elections, we are still talking about coalition and recoalition. Things of this nature, are symptoms of instability. They are symptoms of instability. And it is not only with the electoral processes, but of course those who conducted and those who partook. That is the stakeholder, the political parties themselves. So there is no need. There is no need for this coalition and recoalition. The results that have been declared, if it is against that, which could lead to this, somebody saying, I can't find my pink sheet, this one is saying this pink sheet has been altered and all those things. I think that this narrative is something that we don't need to split our heads over. Whatever the constitutional instrument 127 provides, that is what should be applied. If whatever they are doing is illegal, then I think that all well and good. The chairman himself of the NDC has decided to injunct the process and let them deal with the matter in court.
Now there's an injunction. It looks like we're not seeing an end to this matter anytime soon. But how do we solve this matter of constituency in contention?
Of what?
I'm asking that how do we deal with the matter of constituencies in contention?
Constituencies?
Doc, can you hear me?
Reaching consensus?
No, I'm saying that constituencies in contention, I mean the disputed constituencies.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that should be the dilemma of the 9th Parliament. Because every issue, every case, has its own unique challenges and unique characteristics. If we had our own way, probably we could have asked for a rerun if we cannot reach a consensus in terms of these coalition processes. Then there should be a rerun, a fresh one. If it goes your way, fine. If it does not. But it's unfortunate, especially if you know that you are leading and you have been asked to do a rerun. Well, life should not evolve only around those individuals. The constituent will need representation. And that, for me, is equally important than just the egos of the politician. No. They need representation. And I think that the Electoral Commission should come in handy and solve these problems. The KK, the Buraha is just one too many. We cannot in any way appreciate things of that nature. This is a democracy. We are not degenerating into some kind of tyranny. We are not degenerating into some kind of oligarchy. That is supposed to be by consensus building, and I think that is where we are missing.
You think a rerun will solve the issue?
Yeah, in the heat of all this, because you are not understanding me, I'm not understanding you. We are not having the full complement of the pink sheet. What do we do? Because if we say that, okay, if we don't have the 70% plus complement of the various polling stations, then there is no way we can declare that. And if you are supposed to declare that with a 70 and someone has his own stronghold in other polling stations, you would have shortchanged that particular person. And so, beyond all this, if we cannot have an amicable solution, and we think that we want to litigate the matter in court, of which the Chief Justice, have come out with new guidelines that is not going to take, I think, it's not going to take more than 45 days or so, as time to be corrected, but for the determination of issues of parliamentary seat to be determined. So, it will not be like a protracted kind of thing, especially when you don't have a representative or representation. So that one, I think that they may want to handle that with alacrity. But it's not strange that suddenly the NPP that used to like to tell people that go to court, they don't really want to go to court. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if because the tables have turned and they are now all of a sudden afraid of the court. Other than that, I don't think that what we are doing, the way and manner we are going about it, is not a civilized process. It is beyond us, and we need to work around it and ensure there is that consensus building. And so, if all said and done, and we cannot solve this problem, it shouldn't be through the court system. We can't ask for a rerun.
Well, talking about the rerun, I'm sure the Electoral Commission will also be considering the cost involved. But in the interim, if the Electoral Commission should be firm and deal with the matter, what should that be? Gather all.
If there is no solution in sight, it's not about dealing with it from a firm perspective. Apart from that, it is not, the money is not for Electoral Commission. It is for all of us.
Yeah.
But for us to have peace and peace to prevail in these constituencies so that they don't foment trouble, they need their representatives. They need to have their representatives in Parliament. And I think that it is not beyond the Electoral Commission. If rerun could create unfairness, then they should use the administrative mechanism as enshrined in the CR 127 to solve the problem.
Doc, thank you so much for your time this evening.